Hey there, welcome to Yoga with Rachel, and also welcome to your full body yoga practice with Fascia Activation. If you would like to learn a little bit more about fascia, feel free to read all about it in the description down below this video. So this class is going to include familiar yoga poses with some fascia activation. So it will be a little bit more spicier than our typical yoga classes together. I invite you to come to this practice with an open mind, stay curious, explore, see what you learn and discover about yourself, about your movements, patterns, and so forth. Finally, I invite you to be mindful of your breath throughout this entire practice. When doing fascia activation exercises, there could be a tendency to hold the breath a little bit. So I invite you just to allow your breath to flow through you as naturally as you can, just finding your own natural rhythm. You can bring a blanket or a pillow to your space, and without further ado, let's get started. Join me on your mat in a cross-legged seat. Permission to sit on a folded blanket or a pillow. Explore finding length through your back body, noticing where your pelvis, heart space, and head are in space. Can you play around with creating a line of energy that runs from your tailbone to the base of your skull? You can place your hands in your lap or on your thighs. I invite you to take note of each breath that you take. Notice where you feel the breath moving you. Perhaps closing your eyes can help you feel this movement. Do you feel your breath in your chest? Do your inhalations create expansion throughout your rib cage? Do you feel your breath in your belly? And what about your back body? Just simply notice. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your mouth. Open your eyes. Place your hands, one on top of the other, on your chest by the top of your sternum. Gently press your hands in and then down. Lower your chin slightly. Slowly lift your chin up towards the sky while still maintaining length through the back of your neck. You can find a little movement with your head from side to side if you wish. Wonderful. Now lower your chin closer towards your chest. Maintain that connection with your hands, pressing in and then down slightly. Jut your jaw forward as you slowly lift your chin towards the sky. Slowly moving your head over towards the left and then to the right. A kind reminder to keep your breath flowing as you do this. Now lower your chin towards your chest and try one more round on your own time. Wonderful. Release your hands and then lift your chin so that way it is parallel to the ground. Maintain length through your back body, and then on your next breath then send both hands high into the sky. Palms are forward. Breathe out to find cactus arms, bending at your elbows. Your left hand now takes hold of your right elbow. Your fingertips are on the outside of your right arm. Create some resistance here as you try to move your right arm back in space, but the left hand won't allow it. So your left hand is pressing into your right arm. Feel your muscles begin to activate, especially the shoulders and pecs.
Keep that activation as your left hand begins to slowly bring your right arm across your chest. No worries about how far you get here. You want to maintain that muscular contraction all the way through the movement. So if you do lose it, pause to try to find it again, or you can go back to that starting position. Relax and then come back to our starting position. Now, 2 more rounds on your own time, just exploring and playing. Remember to breathe as you do this. If you do find that the movement is not smooth, that's okay. This could be an area of the body where the fascia is a little bit more dense. It will take some time to work that out. Okay, great. Release your hands to your lap. Loop your shoulders forward, up and back a few times. On your next breath in, send your hands to the sky, spread through your fingers, and then breathe out to find cactus arms once again. Your right hand takes hold of your left elbow, fingertips on the outside. Create that resistance as your left arm pushes back into your right hand, and then your right hand pushes into your left arm. Feel that activation first before allowing your right hand to overpower to bring your left arm across your chest. Your left arm is still resisting back into your right hand all the way through to really keep your muscles engaged. Relax to come back to that starting position. 2 more rounds on your own time. I would also like to mention that you can play around with the amount of resistance. You don't need to be at a full 100% to achieve the benefits of this movement or any movement that we explore today. Great. Release your hands to your lap and roll your shoulders forward, up, and then back a few times. Great. Place your right palm firmly on the surface beneath you, right by your right hip. Feel each finger connect with the ground. As you breathe in, slowly send your left hand to the sky. Find length throughout your side body. Can you feel the outer edges of your feet, your sit bones, and your right hand on the earth? Once you have that connection, reach your left hand over towards the right side. Keep your left hip heavy here. Breathe in, noticing where you feel that breath taking place. And then breathe on out to come back to center. Place your left palm on the ground. Breathe in to reach your right hand to the sky. Explore finding length throughout the side body from your right hip all the way up to your right fingertips. Breathe in. Breathe out to find a side body stretch. Stay rooted in place here, maintaining that gorgeous connection to all that is touching the earth. Breathe in. Breathe out to come back to center. Place your hands on the ground and then bring the soles of your feet together and then allow your knees to fall open. Maintain length through your back body as you bring your hands to the outer edges of your thighs, close to your knees. Your hands will now press into your outer thighs, and your outer thighs will press into your hands. Create some resistance here. Notice where you feel your muscles firing up. Hold on to that activation as you allow your hands to overpower your legs and then slowly bring your legs closer together. Your legs are still pressing into your hands as you do this movement. Relax to open up. If this feels like it's a little bit too much for your hands, you can also try using your forearms. Let's try 2 more rounds of this. Now, it may be tempting to hold your breath as you do this action. However, I encourage you to allow the breath to flow through you, perhaps breathing in to create that activation and then breathing out to bring your legs closer towards one another. And then relax. 1 more round on your own time. Great. Place your fingertips on the surface out in front of you, and then find a gentle sway from side to side. You can also bow your head here. Allow your muscles to relax and soften. You are doing a great job. You are creating more space in your body, allowing you to move with more freedom, both on and off of your mat. Breathe in. Breathe out to slowly roll up through your spine, sitting tall on your mat. Bring your legs together and then cross at your ankles. And now let's make our way to all fours. Place your blanket or pillow off to the side if you were using one. Meet me in a tabletop position with your wrists underneath your shoulders and your knees under your hips. Spread your fingers. Lengthen through your back body by rocking your pelvis forward. Find a chin tuck here. Keep your core engaged as you begin to tap out your feet. Bring some energy to your feet and toes. And if you are living in an apartment or condo, you can blame me if your neighbors come knocking at your door. All right, so we are here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gorgeous. Root down through the tops of your feet. Press your palms down and into the earth, finding a small bend in your elbows. Now imagine that you are trying to move your hands towards the top edge of your mat, but your hands will stay exactly where they are. So your hands are resisting forward. When you do this action, you may notice that your knees resist back towards the back edge of your mat. Notice what muscles start to fire up as you hold on to this activation in tabletop position. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your mouth. All right, keep that same activation as you begin to round through your spine to find cat pose. Hands pressing down and forward, knees resist back. So we are trying to keep our muscles engaged as we move. Now, when entering cow pose, you are going to do the opposite. So your hands will resist back towards your knees, and your knees will resist forward as you drop your belly, lift your chest and chin slightly, looking towards the top edge of your mat. So it's as if you are trying to drag your hands back in space, but they are staying rooted exactly where they are. Feel free to tuck your toes under here if that feels better, or you can play around with lifting your feet and shins away from the ground. All right, 2 more rounds of cat and cow. Breathe in, hands push forward, knees resist back, round through your spine, tuck your tailbone under, and then your neck relaxes. Breathe out. Hands and knees resist in towards one another, dropping your belly, creating space throughout your front body, and also exploring a gentle chin tuck here as you look towards the top edge of your mat. 1 more round. Breathe in. Breathe out. Find a neutral spine. Bring your legs and your feet together and then sit back towards your heels. If you do feel that this is a little bit too much for your knees, I invite you to place a folded blanket or a pillow on your calf muscles. Feel the tops of your toes connect with the surface beneath you. Hinge forward slightly at your hips, and then start to press your toes and the tops of your feet into the earth. Squeeze your legs together. Begin to lift your bum away from your heels. And maybe when you do this action, you can really feel your quads start to light up. Continue that journey until your shoulders are in line with your hips. Activate your hip flexors, engage your core, squeeze your glute muscles as you make fists and then place them around your lower back. Draw your shoulders and elbows back in space, lift your chest and your chin slightly. Your muscles are engaged here. Breathe in, and then breathe on out to find a neutral spine. Breathe in to send your hands to the sky. Keep your shins and the tops of your feet and toes connected to the earth. And then on your next breath out, find a spinal twist to your right. Your left arm is forward, right arm behind. Spread through your fingers. Send energy beyond your fingertips. Breathe in here. And then breathe on out to come back to center, hands reaching overhead. Take a breath in. And then breathe on out to explore a spinal twist to the left. Create space between your ears and shoulders. Create space across your entire chest. Breathe in. Breathe out to unravel, coming back to center. And now let's come back to all fours. Once you find your tabletop position, send your right foot back. The ball of your right foot connects with the ground. Check in with your palms. Notice if more weight is being placed in one hand. Make any adjustments here so that way you can feel both palms pressing into the earth. Find a small bend in your right knee as you press the ball of your right foot into the earth, and then imagine that you're trying to flick something back with that foot. So pressing down and then away. Once you have that connection, slowly begin to reach your right heel back, straightening through your right leg. Relax to bend at your knee. So press the ball of your right foot into the earth and then resist back, and then keep that connection as you reach your right heel back. Wonderful. Relax. And now one more on your own time. Great. Let's switch to the other side. So now your right knee is stacked underneath your hip, and then your left leg extends. Pressing into both palms as evenly as possible, find a small bend in your left knee. Press the ball of your left foot down and then away as you reach your left heel back, straightening through your left leg. Wonderful, and relax. And now try 2 more rounds of this on your own time. Great. Come back to a tabletop position. Drop your elbows to where your hands were, so that way your elbows are stacked under your shoulders. Your forearms run parallel to each other. Spread through your fingers. Step your right foot back, followed by your left foot, doing your very best to create a line of energy from the top of your head all the way to your heels. Look down at the ground, maintaining length through the back of your neck. Press your forearms into the mat, and then imagine that your forearms and feet are trying to tear your yoga mat in half, right down the middle. Breathe as you do this. Feel free to lower your knees at any point down to the earth, but still maintain that sweet activation with your arms. And we are here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower your knees to the earth, and then come on back up to those palms. Walk your hands forward slightly and then towards the long edges of your mat. Bring your big toes together, knees wider than hip distance apart. Press your palms down into the earth, especially the bottom of your palm, and then resist them back towards your body. So it's as if you are trying to drag your hands back in space, but they're going to remain exactly where they are. Keep that engagement as you begin to sit back towards your heels. As soon as you lose that engagement, pause to find it again or back out of the posture to reestablish that connection. Hold here and find some baby pulses for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax your arms and then release your forehead to the earth. Extended child's pose. Soften through your fingers, forearms, hips, glutes, and your back body. Connect to your breath here. All right. Press your palms into the earth, lift your forehead away from your mat, and then slowly rise up. Let's make our way to a high plank pose together, pressing away from the earth, hugging your front body up to your back body as your heels reach back. Feel all your muscles fire up in this posture. An invitation to say to yourself, I am strong, because you are. You are doing awesome. All right, friends, now send your hips to the sky to find your downward facing dog. Right away, begin to walk your feet towards your hands, where we will meet in a standing forward fold. When you get there, check in with your footing. Feet are about hip distance apart, toes pointing forward. Find a generous bend in your knees to allow your belly to rest on the tops of your thighs. Root down through your feet. Notice if more weight is being placed on one side. This is really good information. I tend to place a little bit more weight on my left side as I have a bit of an imbalance due to a past injury. So I'm going to place a little more weight into my right foot, so that way things feel a little bit more balanced and steady for me. As you ground down through your feet, imagine that you are trying to tear your yoga mat in half, right down through the middle. Notice what happens to your legs, glutes, and your core as you do this. Breathe in. Breathe out to maintain that activation with your feet, and then slowly roll up through your spine. Find your mountain pose, standing tall on your mat. Breathe in to send your hands to the sky, and then breathe out to lower your hands to your sides. Relax your legs and your feet, and take a quiet moment here to notice how you feel. Lovely. Send your hands forward, palms facing each other. Take a breath in. And then as you breathe out, send your hips back, bending at your knees. Chair pose. Lengthen through your lower back, hugging the belly button in towards your spine. Knees are tracing over top of your feet, and there's more weight being placed in your heels. Finally, imagine that you are squeezing a yoga block between your thighs to really engage your inner thighs here. Once you have that, I invite you to find some baby pulses. And perhaps as you do this, you begin to sink a little lower and lower into the pose. So we are really building strength and heat in the body today. So I'm hoping that you're feeling it by now. Just a kind reminder that you are strong and you got this. We are here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Heels press down into the earth, and then you straighten through the legs. Give your legs and feet a little shake. Wonderful. Explore stillness. On your next breath in, take up space with your hands, sending your hands high into the sky. Breathe out to fold forward. Engage your legs as you fold forward. Breathe in to find a halfway lift, hands on your shins or your thighs. And then breathe on out to fold. Plant your palms on the mat. Step or hop it back to a high plank. Breathe in. Breathe out to lower your knees to the earth. Swing your legs to one side and then come to a seat on your mat. Extend your legs out long in front of you, and then squeeze your legs together as you point through your toes. Dig your heels into the earth. Interlace your fingers out in front, and then release just the index fingers. Reach your hands forward. Breathe in. And then as you breathe out, slowly lower onto your back body. But as you roll down, think about engaging your calf muscles, quads, hip flexors, and core muscles. So take your time. And whenever you do arrive there, hug your knees in towards your chest, give yourself a loving hug, and find a gentle rock from side to side. Great. Stack your knees over top of your hip points, and then lift your shins so that way they are parallel to the sky, finding tabletop legs. Connect to your center as you lift your head and shoulder blades away from the earth. Place your hands on your thighs. Your hands actively press into your thighs, and your thighs will press back into your hands. Lengthen through the back of your neck so that way you're looking on an angle towards the sky. Keep this activation, embrace the tremble, and we are here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, lower and release your feet to the earth. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your mouth. Allow both knees to come in towards your chest. Keep your right knee hugged in, interlacing your fingers around your right shin. As you extend through your left leg will hover away from the ground. Connect to your center as you lift your head and shoulder blades off of the ground, bringing your nose closer towards your right knee. Breathe in here, and then breathe on out to switch your legs. Your left knee comes in, your right leg extends. Breathe in, breathe out to switch. So keep this action going for a few more rounds, and just be mindful of your breath as you move. One more round on each side. Great. Lower and release everything. Send your legs out long on your mat and take a full body stretch. Rotate through your ankles and your wrists. You can play around with gently tapping your calf muscles against the ground. Perhaps you find a gentle rock in your hips from side to side. Maybe you find a little movement with your shoulders. And perhaps you find a gentle rock with your head from side to side. Breathe in. Breathe out to explore stillness. Allow your hands to rest along the sides of your body, palms facing up. Take note of how your back body connects with the ground beneath you. Take note of which parts of your spine connect with the surface. And maybe take note of the weight of your head on the ground beneath you. I now invite you to bring your hands together and then to your heart in prayer position. An invitation to thank yourself for showing up here today. Feel free to return to this practice to activate your fascia, build strength, improve mobility throughout your whole body, and to energize both your mind and body. I look forward to flowing with you again. Let's take one final breath in through the nose, and then breathe out through your mouth. Empty it all out. an invitation to close our practice together by saying Namaste.